I'm sure this is something that none of us really expected, but how were they able to take advantage of the New York Knicks, especially after that first quarter?
It sounds crazy, but this really is a miss or make league. And we say that a lot throughout the NBA season, understanding that the object of the game is to put the ball in the hole.
Yeah.
And since the bubble, the Miami Heat have been up and down making shots. All season long, depending on who you talk to, they're just saying if Miami can figure out a way to make a few shots consistently, their culture of defense, playing the right way, will catch up. Well, the tale of two halves.
Yeah.
First half, the Knicks did whatever they want to. They lived in the paint. Jalen Brunson was doing whatever he wanted to do. But Miami stuck to their culture, playing good defense, just chipping away. And then Kevin Love, outlet passes, they started making shots, and here you are in the fourth quarter playing with confidence.
It's pretty crazy when you look at the regular season. The Miami Heat, complete last when it came to points per game, bottom 5 when it came to field goal percentage, 3-point field goal percentage, and then you look at the postseason, they're top in all 3 of those categories heading into this game. When you look at the backcourt battle, I know that's something that the Knicks struggled with too, is not being able to make as many threes. The Heat backcourt, 7 made threes. The Knicks backcourt, none. Right? Does that make a difference?
It makes a difference because what people have to understand, we're not saying come down the court and just jack up threes because that's who you are. It's in the flow of the offense. Whereas in the first series against the Cavs, you saw the Knicks knock down their fair share of threes. Tonight, the backcourt 0 of 11 from 3. How's that going in the ball game at home when the Miami Heat are playing solid defense? And once their defense got to get out and run, you're saying, okay, now they start making threes. Kyle Lowry's been coming off the bench. No, he's been banged up all season long. But guess what? The savvy veteran now is feeling healthy at the right time. It's the summertime. It's the springtime. The body feels a whole lot better. He's a champion, and tonight he showed up in a big, big way for the Heat.
How much does not having Julius Randle in the lineup make an impact for the New York Knicks, too? I know Obi Toppin stepped in. He had a pretty good game, 18 points, but how much does that, make a difference not having Julius Randle in the lineup?
You're missing a proven guy in the fourth quarter. You needed someone to go get you a bucket. I don't know what Tibbs was thinking, not having Brunson there a little bit more there in the fourth quarter. Maybe he'll explain what that was, but you missed Randle tonight down the stretch. Obi Toppin had some flares, knocked down a few threes here and there, but he's not used to that moment, in my opinion, in the fourth quarter to take over, and I think they were missing him then.
And then you look at the bench points. You mentioned Kyle Lowry already at 18 points off the bench, but on the other side, only 15 total bench points all day. I mean, do they need a little bit more production out of their bench moving forward here into Game 2?
Well, if you're not trusting anyone else, then you're hoping Emmanuel quickly could have maybe scored a few more points. He's 3 of 9 from the floor. We've seen him have a few good games there in the first round against the Cavs. So at the end of the day, you played well enough for 3 quarters. The Miami Heat just had enough in that fourth quarter. Different guys stepping up. When Jimmy Butler went down with the sprained ankle, we thought it'd be hurt for the Heat. No, a different guy stepped up around him.
When you talk about a guy like Kevin Love, I know you were mentioning his outlet passes.
Come on.
Tell me more.
I don't know if we got enough video to show, but sometimes you don't understand. Just watch this. Now, you play good half-court defense. You always say keep your head up. This is the perfect pass. Catch it, one dribble, Strus goes right up. You're attacking the defense. This is really breaking down the Knicks right here. A shot we know Brunson can make. Look at this. Jimmy's all by himself. This is not a cherry pick. No, this is good half-court defense, good rebound, no dribbles. You're finishing at the rim. This is how the Heat started chipping away slowly but surely, getting that confidence. And here we go, Kevin Love again. Turn, keep your head up, over the shoulder. Wes Unseld smiling in his grave. The best outlet passer in NBA history outside of Wes Unseld. Talking about Kevin Love. That phase of the game, in my opinion, gave the Heat some momentum to get back in the ball game. They continued to chip away, playing good half-court defense, and started making shots.
When you talk about a guy like Jimmy Butler, Himothy, Jimmy Buckets, whatever you want to call him.
Jimmy boy!
Jimmy boy!
Yes.
He rolls his ankle there at the end a little bit. He looks like he's okay, but a little hindered down the stretch. Still 25 points. I know we're used to expecting like 50-plus points, 40-plus points from a guy like this, but he's making an impact on both sides of the ball tonight.
Great question. I think this is old school 90s basketball. Look at the score, 95, 92. So right here, we're all sitting here in the studio like, he's going to be done. He finishes up the game, but we all know. I want to know how he feels tomorrow morning. Is there swelling? Is there stiffness? Things of that nature. That's what we'll figure out if he'll be ready for Game 2. But at the end of the day, to your point, Jimmy just been on one since the series. And I think Doris Burke hit on the head. They lost the play-in game to the Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that already.
Yeah.
So most people didn't have them fighting. Here they are on the road in round 2, going into New York and still in the game.
Yes.
So this lets you know that willpower, playing the right way, having a true leader in Jimmy Butler, and the rest of his teammates playing well at the right time.
And then having a coach like Eric Spoelstra, too, right? That helps a little bit, yeah?
No, he's one of the best. He understands. He's a player's coach. And he's been there so much in the new movement, what I call, with the Heat. When D-Wade and all those guys leave, you bring in Jimmy Butler. Now it's an an outside-in team with them, all the threes they take. But their toughness showed up tonight.
When you look at a matchup like Bam Adebayo going up against Mitchell Robinson, Bam 16 points on the night, Mitchell only 7. Like, what are you expecting from a matchup like this between the big men through this whole series?
Well, I expected Bam to be who he is. At the end of the day, you know, Bam's the all-star. He's the guy that probably the engine to their defense in the back line. Mitchell Robinson, you want him to be more active because, yes, I remember there was a conversation early in the season he wanted to touch the ball a little bit more on the offensive end. No, young fella, the reason they paid you is block shots, rebound, set solid screens, and roll to the basket. Make sure you stay that within your role. That's how you help out the Knicks more.
When you look at Game 2, I know the biggest adjustments that they're going to want to make. What do you think those are? 1, 2 adjustments that Tom Thibodeau is going to look at the film and he's like, yes, we need to do this differently in order to take advantage of the Miami Heat for Game 2.
Why did you get away from attacking the paint like you did in that first quarter? Basically, the whole first half, you were getting anything you want, then you got away from it. Now, you give the Miami Heat a lot of credit because their defense ramped up a little bit and took you out of your comfort zone. But understanding you have to continue to attack that defense. Because early in the game, you're into the paint, you're getting layup after layup. Now, when you watch the film, you're watching it. Even on missed shots, you had guys attacking the paint. I talked about Mitchell Robinson keeping balls alive. You get extra shots of that nature. So this is what you were doing well all the first half. You got away from this, and the Miami Heat got their confidence. That's how they got back in the ball game.
And we talk a lot about Josh Hart, too, right? I mean, he only had 10 points on the night, 5 for 12 from the field. Do you need to see a little bit more out of him, too, moving forward? Did you kind of like his game for today?
I liked it, but look at it like this. Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart, 40 and 43 minutes. So the minutes are there. A little more effort here or there, make a few more better decisions. When you go back and look at the first half, Jalen Brunson, those guys were getting whatever they wanted in the first half. Second half, they didn't. So is it more of their offense, or do you give the Heat more credit for stepping their defense up?
Yeah, I think you give the Heat a little bit of credit, right, for stepping their defense up. And is that an Eric Spoelstra thing, too? Like things that he's doing specifically, different game planning, different game calling, that kind of a thing? Different
matchups. I think sometimes we give the players a lot of credit. Well, think about it. The Knicks only went 8 deep. Look at Spoelstra. He went deeper in his bench. So maybe some people would say maybe he got Spoelstra out coach tips today, be going deeper into his bench. Different guys have an opportunity to step up.
Absolutely. It's going to be fun to see how this series plays out.
This is going to be fun because you have 2 coaches that's been there before. Some people may say Tibbs a little more hard-headed, been around, but understanding when these guys play the kind of defense they need to be, Coach Tibbs has shown them they can be a little more freer on the offensive end. Coach Spo, he's a player's coach. He's willing to take threes, take charges, pick and pop. He's willing to do whatever to get his team going like he did tonight on the defensive end.
Let's talk Jalen Brunson for a second. 11 for 23 from the field, 25 points on the night. What did you see out of? I keep saying night. It's definitely daytime.
Game.
It's only 3. It's still 3:45, isn't it? Oh my God. Keep saying night. What's going on right now? But what did you see out of him, and what do you want to continue to see from him?
More aggressive, stay aggressive, and keep the ball in your hand as much as possible. I don't know what went wrong in the second half for Tibbs to not have the ball in him more in the fourth quarter, but in this first half, he's doing whatever he wants, turn the corner, getting to the left-hand floater. You go under the screen, a little shake and bake, stopping and popping. I just don't understand why you went away from this. Even the little screen coming late, he was pretty much doing whatever he wanted to whenever Lowry was guarding or Vincent was guarding. Now, in the second half, you get a little credit because Jimmy Butler started picking him up some. Look at it right here, going right around Cody Zeller. So somehow when you're watching this tape, I think the ball needs to continue to be in Jalen Brunson's hands more to make him facilitate and knowing he can knock down shots at will.
When I look at some of these turnovers, like R.J. Barrett, 4 turnovers on the day, Jalen Brunson, 5 turnovers, and that's something that the Heat really took advantage of, right? 22 points off of the 13 Knicks turnovers. Where did you see a lot of those coming from, and how did they play a little bit more disciplined style of basketball?
That's all Heat. You give Heat the credit for a lot of those turnovers. The biggest problem I had with those a couple of times, R.J. Barrett's complaining to the referee.
Yeah.
We know now this is the playoffs. The game's going to be more physical. You're going to get hit. You're going to get tripped. Complain in the timeouts. Complain in dead ball situations. Let Coach Tibbs and the coaching staff complain. You got to get back on defense because every time someone complained, the Miami Heat got an easy bucket or easy wide open 3.
And I know that they did take advantage in the paint. You wanted to see that a little bit more in the second half, 62 points for only 38 Heat paint points. When you look at their threes, though, is this just one of those days that the threes aren't falling, 7 of 34? Do you expect a little bit more next time?
I think each coach has their duty to figure that part out. And I think when you watch the film, did we miss quality threes?
Yeah.
You continue to take them. If you're taking